Eurovision is directed by David Dobkin, and it stars Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams, Dan Stevens, Pierce Brosnan. And it's about Ferrell and McAdams, who are an Icelandic singing duo who really dream of being in Eurovision to represent Iceland. And then one day, they actually learn that they're actually going to be representing Iceland in the Eurovision contest. So I knew there was a movie about this happening. I just never really looked into it more than other than, oh, Will Ferrell's doing a movie about Eurovision. I didn't realize who was in it. Never saw a trailer. As for the competition itself, I never really got into Eurovision. I've heard of it, but I never really paid attention to it. It's like, oh, I guess that's interesting. We'll see. So I watched it, heard a few things about it, and it was actually better than I expected. Let's start off with Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. They are really great together. They surprisingly have really good chemistry. They're both really funny in this movie. I was kind of worried that because, they're actors from America. Well, actually, they show at the end Will Ferrell's American and Rachel McAdams is actually Canadian. But I was kind of worried that they were going to be annoying with their Icelandic accents, and they actually weren't. I thought their characters were really good. I thought their relationship was actually really good. Rachel McAdams actually has a lot of great moments compared to Will Ferrell. It's like you think, oh, Will Ferrell's going to be the funny one, Rachel McAdams is going to be not as funny one. But no, she actually holds on to her own. And it's like, wow, this actually might be her best performance in years, honestly. Surprisingly, it's actually really funny for the most part. Also, there are a couple other good performances. As I mentioned, Dan Stevens, he's also in the Eurovision contest. He's really good. Pierce Brosnan as Will Ferrell's dad, he's good for his role. There's also a surprising cameo by Demi Lovato in this movie. And I thought she was really good in her brief role, too. Like I mentioned, it's actually pretty funny, how they find out that they're going to be in the contest is actually pretty funny. Also, the music in this movie, it's surprisingly really good. It opens with this song that, honestly, my biggest issue with this movie is kind of a nitpick, and I just wish the song that was played at the beginning was the song that they played at Eurovision, but, whatever. Yeah, the music was pretty good. Literally, you could pick any song from this movie, and it's I understand why you like that song. Like I mentioned, even though the movie's pretty funny overall, I feel like there are some jokes in this movie that just kind of don't work. Unlike a movie like My Spy, which was just, oh, that joke's kind of funny, and then the other jokes were not for a while, and oh, funny joke. No, I'd say it's more funny. It's oh, that's funny, nah, funny, nah. So, you got a better laugh ratio in this movie. Unfortunately, the only real criticism I have of this movie is that it's very cliched. You kind of know everything that's going to happen beat for beat in this movie, for the most parts. You got the basic story down, and you got the basic beats afterwards. And it kind of got annoying after a while, because maybe I could not pay attention for a while, and then look back, it's yeah, that's what I was expecting. That's what I was expecting you to do. So, even though it can be funny, it's just very predictable overall. But that doesn't change the fact that I think it's a very funny movie. Well, very funny is a strong word. I would say a good time, at least. So, and, maybe I will look into Eurovision more. So, overall, Eurovision, surprisingly a funny movie. Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams are really good together. The supporting actors do a really good job. The music is actually really good. I'm surprised by how good it was. And, this actually makes up for Downhill, Will Ferrell. So, I'll give Eurovision, I'll actually recommend it. I'll give Eurovision 3 out of 4 stars. See it. So, did you see Eurovision, and what did you think of it? Also, what's your favorite Will Ferrell comedy? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and stay safe.